Who dare wake me, ain't gonna make this a mystery. Don't wanna do time when your wish is 3. Watch it, boy, you don't wanna diss me, or I'll dish out my misery. Now who's that sorry wannabe that disturbed my Z's? If you wanna be number 1, I'm sorry, boy, that's been done. But if you got the itches for a sack of riches, don't matter how avaricious, I'm the man that can grant your wishes. Welcome to Pink Floyd, a podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. Those were, of course, some Pink Floyd lyrics. And my name is Gareth Blackler, and I'm actually I'm hosting this episode alone. It's just going to be me, talking to you, kind of filling you in about my day. I'm just here with my jukebox. No, sorry, my boombox. Oh, the bit is ruined. I'm just here with my boombox, just sitting here with the... Oh no, my boombox. It's shaking, coming out of the... It's James Barron!
Hello, it's James Barron in genie form, the most avaricious of all genies, here to talk to you about the film KAZAAM.
KAZAAM, 1996.
Yeah, it's a very specific wish that I grant, but that's alright. Same with KAZAAM, TBH. He doesn't really he's got a very solid niche that he fills, so, man, KAZAAM.
Yeah. The idea of a genie that exclusively grants material wishes is such a Pink Floyd kind of concept.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly,
you wanted a genie, but too bad.
Honestly, it's the best thing about KAZAAM is this concept, this idea of an incredibly selfish genie. I think that's a sweet idea. It's just that the film KAZAAM doesn't exactly execute on that. I would say. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Before I saw KAZAAM, all I knew about it was the great line from Parks and Recreation where Andy's bucket list is he wants to remake the film KAZAAM where Shaq plays a genie and do it right.
Yes.
And haha, that's... Well, okay, that was funny at the time. Now it feels like if KAZAAM came out this year, that wouldn't be far off. They'll just be like, oh, we're remaking it next year. We're going to try to get it right this time.
Yeah.
But
I could definitely see it happening, eh?
Yeah. I believe there is gold in this boombox. Firing out of this boombox. There's something you could do with KAZAAM.
There's a small gem that's hard to capture, but if they manage to capture it, boy howdy. That'll be a film to behold. You know?
Oh my gosh.
KAZAAM 2, Son of KAZAAM? Maybe?
Ooh.
I like it.
Yeah?
I like it.
I want KAZAAM, but we meet these djinns that he talks about. This is jumping the gun very far.
Yeah, true. We will get there. So you hadn't seen KAZAAM at all. You'd only seen a Parks and Recreation bit about it.
No, I'd seen Shazam back in 2012. KAZAAM. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
This is awkward.
Well, we've stumbled into that very soon.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that, because that is... I'd seen KAZAAM in 2012.
Yeah.
After my brother bought me an Orlando Magic hat, and I think Shaq had played briefly for the Orlando Magic, so I was like,
cool.
Better learn about these guys. Might as well watch him do actual magic.
Give me all the literature.
Yeah. Oh, you think you know Shaq? Quote his beloved movies. So I'd seen it. It was locked away in my memory bank, and it wasn't until this rewatch I was like, "Oh, this movie's not I don't know if it's the fun kind of bad."
Yeah, this is my main beef with KAZAAM, in that it's it definitely is a bad movie, and there are lots of fun, insane things that we're going to get to talk about on the pod, which is great. I'm very excited for that, but. It's not Kroll bad. It's not definitely not that same feeling where it's just a joy to experience. It's also not The Room bad, in that it's not insanely awkward from the get-go like that is. So it's sort of in between, I would say. But it's also just kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know?
Boring, and like you said about the material wishes, it sets itself all these rules that thus stop it being fun, instead of it I don't know, playing into it. It just goes, no, we can't do that. It's like a bad improv partner. It just says,
Definitely.
no, that's not happening.
Yeah, they refuse to play in the space. They always have
Yeah.
they put all these rules out there, which would be cool to explore, and then it's like, nope,
Yeah.
we're not doing that now. We've got to move on with this really ham-fisted, like stepfather finding my own father story that is in KAZAAM.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're sort of putting the cart before the horse here, but didn't love KAZAAM.
No.
But I am
Do you know
excited.
this?
Am excited to talk about it with you. So
Oh, good. Me too.
yes.
Do you know the story of how KAZAAM came to be?
No, tell me.
So the director was going to take his son to meet Shaq, I believe, or go to a game and meet Shaq. And on the phone call, they were like, "Oh, do you have any movie ideas that Shaq could be in this summer?"
Wow.
And he didn't have any, but he did say, "Oh, Shaq should play a genie." And then it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
It came out of like a child's mind. Their idea.
No, it was the dad's mind.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. Which takes away the magic again.
It would be better if it were what I thought it was, but
Yeah.
it's just like an executive dad guy who's just like, oh yeah, I don't know, he should be a genie, I guess.
If it's going to get me free tickets to the game, he can be a genie.
Yeah, you can be a genie.
Yeah.
You can be my genie.
This movie also so awkward, and it's like what it is, right? Is a bonkers 90s basketball player vanity project.
Yeah.
And a wisecracking genie movie.
Yeah.
It's sandwiched in between Aladdin, which comes out in like 92.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So really awkward amount of time has passed since Aladdin.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, out comes Space Jam, the like most bonkers basketball vanity project.
Gee. Okay.
So like, yeah, no wonder people don't think this movie exists.
That's fair, yeah. I mean, if you love this movie, you're gonna love Space Jam. So
Yeah.
that's all right. It's the same kind of vein in that it's like an insane vanity project, except one of them had the backing of Warner Brothers Pictures.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it's man, this coming out after Aladdin, I never put that together. That's
Right?
Oh. Yeah, it's not so good, not so premium
No.
for the market, but all right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And do you know so I didn't think we'd even get into this, but then, like I said, KAZAAM, a little more boring than I thought. So
Yeah.
do you know about the widespread internet theory about that this movie was... I don't even know how to get into it. A lot of people have a false conscious memory. A lot of people have this shared false memory that this movie was called Shazam and starred the comedian Sinbad. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have heard about this. I think there is a Shazam. I feel like that's a real thing. There's definitely a Shazam superhero, which is like more modern. But like I don't know if it starred Sinbad. Maybe I don't know. It sounds like something that could be true. You know?
I've seen Shazam 2019, and that's no Sinbad in that, but he's rumored to be involved in Shazam too.
That's great. Just based on that like rumor, that's amazing. If so, it's got the guy from Chuck, right? That's the guy who's Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it on our big episode, and that it's part of, and I think in our headcanon, it's part of the big cinematic universe.
The big universe.
Because I stand by it. I want Tom Hanks to play the villain in Shazam too, in character as Big.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Right?
Holy shit. Give me more villainous Tom Hanks roles, please.
Exactly. Pink Floyd would be very happy with that.
Overtly villainous, not just like, it's the 90s and I'm a terrible person, you shouldn't date me villainous. Not that kind of villainous.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to see him scheme.
Yeah. Just imagine the heel turn for Tom Hanks, like really late in his career. And he's just suddenly like getting all the roles that like John Malkovich used to get.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
And John Malkovich is playing like romantic comedy and love interests.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's the world I want to be living in, you know? Just reverso world.
Yeah.
Great times.
And in that reverso world, I'm sure there is a film called Shazam starring Sinbad.
Yep. that's the only way,
Yeah.
that we'll ever get to see that. All right. Shall we
Well,
dive
let's talk about
into how
KAZAAM.
Let's talk about KAZAAM, man. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
dive on in. My first note that I have for KAZAAM is just the words of the production house, Kino Lorber, which is just, I don't know what that means or what it's for, but I do want to say Kino. I wanted to top the show off by saying Kino Lorber. And
a Kino Lorber to you too, my friend. Kino Lorber to all of us.
To us all. Unto us all. And to all a good Lorber. All right, yeah, so opening titles. Here we go. Over heartbeats, etc. The same thing we do every week. We got very low FPS clouds here in the intro. I don't know if it's the version of KAZAAM that I'm watching, but I'm seeing like 4 FPS on these clouds. I'm like, man, I need to adjust my graphics settings. The movie opens with this like weird wrecking ball like in reverse as we get into Breathe, which I'm like, whoa. I thought I was like in for an art film kind of experience where it's like showing me something happening backwards in time, but that is not the case. I feel like it's just an editing mistake, or
most likely.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, we're panning up on a shop that's an old abandoned building that has this neon sign for lamps, which is an incredibly specific business, so it's no wonder that it went out of business. But hey, the titles of the movie are syncing up crazy well with Breathe, to the point where I'm freaking out. Like, it's like the opening bits of this movie with just like the titles flashing up are perfectly in time. I was like, what?
That is so much rarer than you think it is as well. Like, we've never had that.
No, it's very unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, sinking very well. So we got to note that. We got a lamp falling to the ground like 5 times in a row. Like, as the building is getting like knocked by this big old wrecking ball.
Yeah.
The building doesn't get knocked down. It's just sort of being hit by this wrecking ball.
Yeah, and then the wrecking ball just gives up.
I guess so. It's like, it's not worth it. But yeah, this lamp like falls and breaks. Maybe this is in the like super past or something. This is like a scene outside of time, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like, is it implied the lamp falls, breaks, and then he ends up in the boombox? Because you never see that.
I think that's what's happening here, but it's never shown. And yeah, that's just inference on my part. So I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we meet Max, our boy, the young boy protagonist here. He's pulled into the bathroom as we move into On the Run, like exactly when that happens, which I was like, what is happening? I was this is one of the first times I've been like afraid for something to sync well with Pink Floyd, because I was like, it can't be KAZAAM. Surely not. I had preconceived notions, right, going in. So more shame on me. But like, I was like, no. And then it was working very well.
Imagine
at least at the start.
It's KAZAAM, and we're the guys who find it out about KAZAAM, and we're just the KAZAAM guys.
Oh man, if only.
We might get to meet Shaq. That could be cool.
That'd be sweet. I'd love to meet Shaq. Shaq seems like a pretty chill guy. He definitely seems like someone who knows how to be rich. Like, you look at the list of other things he's done outside of basketball, and it's like music, pro wrestling, sports announcing, a video game, like everything. You'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. Man. I have the money. Yeah, if you've got the money, right? Like, I like him messing around with all this stuff. His video game, by the way, whoo, I could talk about that forever.
Have you played it?
I have not played it, but I would love to. It's like really rare. It's called Shaq Fu, and it's like a Street Fighter like beat 'em up game.
Whoa!
And it's sick. It's great. There's a whole cast of characters. Shaq's main attacks involve fireballs and setting basketballs on fire. and attacking people.
Whoa.
It's great. There's like a snake person that he can fight. It's very strong.
Whoa.
I know.
Did this come out before KAZAAM? Because I want tie-ins, man.
I want to say that it did. I think this was out on like Super Nintendo, so like it's definitely like early 90s, like probably before KAZAAM. Maybe like same era.
2 years before.
There you go.
KAZAAM.
So it's when he's like in his trying stuff kind of phase.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Shaq Fu, look it up. It's good times.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely look up some footage of this because like it's like quite a well-developed game, but apparently it like controls terribly.
Oh,
So,
okay.
You know, oh well. But yes. It's just some secret knowledge from me there. Yeah, so
That's
Max,
amazing.
Max is getting bullied by these guys and like pulled into a bathroom, etc. He like dodges the bullies by giving up this like key that he has to the supply closet. I thought this is like a weird gambit on his part. He like gives away the thing that he's been responsible for, but whatever. He gets like chewed out by the teacher for giving this key away right at the start.
Yeah.
It's not good for him. Yeah, and then it's like it's all this like bad stuff happening to Max in this intro. He goes home and sees his mum, and she's wanting to get engaged to this guy called Travis. And we meet Travis, who seems like a chill guy. We don't know this at this point, but he's like a firefighter, and he brings home a Buster Keaton VHS for Max to watch. Which I think is, like, honestly, a cool gift. Like,
heck yeah. That's some cool stepdadding.
Yeah, I reckon. Like,
yeah.
Genuinely, like, everything that Travis does in this, he seems like a really on-the-level stepdad.
Yeah.
And he just gets, like, nothing but abuse.
Yeah.
So, oh well. So I've got in my notes here. There's a kiss that is in sync with the crash sound and On the Run. This is either like mum kissing Max or Travis kissing the mum, and I'm not sure which anymore. But there's a kiss that happens over that. So there you go.
Oh yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah, and
I mean, I guess the idea is like it's too late because she's going to marry Travis. So
maybe
those clocks going off, like that kiss has sealed the deal.
Yeah,
time's up for not marrying Travis.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, the clocks go off and it's like Max's cue to leave. He like gets up and runs out all upset about this new information. He's dropped like there's a whole bunch of bombs that are dropped on him. Honestly, all in the same moment. It's like, oh yeah, I really want to marry Travis. You know him, but like that's a huge change for you, Max. Also, your dad is still around and we're still in contact. Like added information. It's like holy shit. Okay. You know, there's a lot going through young Max's mind. We get to the next bit and it's the bullies are back and they're like chasing down Max after this key thing didn't work out for them. And they like chase him down this alleyway and into the condemned building that we saw with the lamp sign. So obviously he hasn't been knocked down at this point. And he's like trying to hide from the bullies. And then like he's running around and stuff, and then like falls through the hole in the floor, and then through 2 more floors. Like he falls like it's got to be like 30 to 40 feet, right? Like a really
and not just
long
like
way.
free fall as well through each floor. So like messed up.
There's definitely one floor which he like legitimately falls through. Like there is another one that has like a hole in it and he falls through a hole, obviously, on the first floor that he falls through. But there's one where he just like falls through the floor. It's like, that is going to do a lot of damage to a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You could argue that he does die and like Shaq is now helping him make peace with his life.
Wow. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's why it's no, that doesn't work. No, never mind. I was gonna say that's why it's the same building at the end, and that's totally not the case. But oh well. So he like falls.
But it is a building.
And then, lands in like a pile of crumpled paper and somehow survives. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what should be here in his hiding place, Gareth, but like this discarded boombox
Yeah.
gives it a wee boot, and because the boombox like is talking to him before he even like notices it, right? I'm getting subtitles
Yeah.
when I was watching saying like it says like I'm dead, and I'm not sure if that was Max being like, oh shit, all the bullies are gonna find me, or if it's the boombox being like I'm dead.
Just trying to be spooky.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the hard thing with things that don't have like moving lips in
yeah,
movies when you've got a subtitle.
yeah, because it was the
Uh,
on a shot of the boombox when we saw this, you know. And
yeah.
it had the like neon lights on, well, the little like LEDs on the front of it
Mm,
going up and down to make it look like it's putting out the sound. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
yeah.
But if only we could listen with sound. Never mind.
If only we weren't cursed.
Yeah, this is the price we pay for content. But yeah, anyway, the KAZAAM is released in an explosion of energy, like in a massive
Yeah.
whirlwind, and the bullies are like bloody terrified, as you would be.
Yes, you would be.
Max just sort of sits there, mouth agape, as he does for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, KAZAAM is revealed. His opening move, he crushes a can of Pepsi under his foot. Don't know if this is like a beef that Shaq has with Pepsi or like a product placement that I'm unaware of. But yeah,
I feel like Shaq's been in Pepsi ads somewhat recently. So maybe it's a lifetime thing.
maybe he's reversed his stance on Pepsi because he sure crushes this can with malice of forethought here in this intro.
Yeah.
As his opener. And then yeah, he starts like rhyming like crazy. Starts rapping at these guys.
Yeah.
Speaks in rhyme a lot. Shazam, not Shazam. Gosh, Shaq, KAZAAM. Oh, this is going to be a struggle.
Right? Every
Yeah.
time we say Shazam in the alternate universe where Shazam was the movie, those two boys get another point on their sync.
Yeah, every time we say it, Sinbad can hear us in his ear, and eventually
Yeah.
he's just going to appear in like one of our living rooms.
Yeah.
If we say it
Well, the
often
thing
enough.
about him is he tends to reply to everyone who tweets, like, were you in a genie movie? It was just like, wasn't in a genie movie, guys.
Oh, well, respect for that, honestly. That's
Yeah.
like going above and beyond. But yeah, diffused by these raps, the bullies run off. They're terrified of this rapping giant who has appeared,
Yeah.
as you would be. And yeah, KAZAAM's like offering the wishes to Max, who's now his master, and he's like really impatient with the wishes. He really wants them now. And then yeah, this is where he talks about doing material wishes only
Yeah.
for things and like money and stuff. That's what KAZAAM is good at, and he can't do anything like existential. I find this fascinating. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
it's like the coolest part of KAZAAM, that this is what like genies are like, that they're this really simple thing that it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I can get you stuff. I can like, I'm like a e-shopping catalog. I can get you
Yeah.
anything that you like. But when it comes to like love or power or like feeling something or knowing something, I can't do any of that. Sorry.
Yeah. For a movie
Amazing.
that's so capitalist, like clearly designed to sell Taco Bell figurines of KAZAAM, which do exist.
Amazing.
It's an odd message to be like, money and things are very different to feelings.
Yeah.
Like, you
That's
can't
interesting.
have those.
I like that dichotomy though,
Yeah.
that the movie sets up and then never explores.
Right? Later they mention that Jin can, which is like DJINN, I think.
Yeah, Jin. Yeah,
They're like the more powerful genies, and they can do it.
yeah,
But like even that, like that's fascinating too. Tell us more of that. Like maybe set like a lower ceiling on KAZAAM's abilities. Like maybe he can only summon these things from somewhere. He can't create new things.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's feeling insecure about that. Maybe anything's happening other than the man wants a wish granted, and he also sometimes likes to rap.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just a little bit of substance would have been nice, right?
Yeah.
As far as we're going to get into it more later, I guess, but since we're covering it now, I'll talk about it. Jinn and genies are exactly the same thing. In like history, like it's just like a genie is the English version, like the transliteration of what a jinn is. Like,
Yeah.
they're effectively exactly the same. There's no difference between the two. And yet the movie is like, nope, these are different and they've got different powers. So there you go. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear, that this is based on nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, again, that's some imagination. Like, you're twisting it around.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wildly off topic, but I know you like fantasy, and I'm sure our listeners do.
Yeah.
Have you read the Bartimaeus trilogy?
I have
of
not.
Children's novels. They were so sick. I haven't revisited them, but it was about like essentially a wisecracking djinn.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like narrated by him, and like there's this amazing like world it builds up. We can summon like imps and djinn, and then like things more powerful than djinn to do your like bidding.
Cool.
I might be misremembering it. It might actually be real bad. Like, I do remember there's a character who was called, like, John Lovelace or Simon Lovelace or something, and he was the baddie. But the best thing about this book is to picture, like, this beautiful, well-thought-out world, but still imagine that Shaq's playing the djinn.
Yes, ideal.
Yeah.
That's
the
perfect.
KAZAAM we want.
Yeah, that is the KAZAAM we want. Honestly, I feel like I could improve most movies by imagining that the title character is played by Shaq,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone out there is reading a book, maybe before bed, like, this read, picture Shaq's playing the main character. See how that changes
Hell
things.
yeah. Imagine
See how Slaughterhouse-5 goes now.
Yeah, imagine like The Graduate, but it's Shaq,
Yeah.
Man.
The Shaquate.
The Shaquate? Okay.
Not very good.
Well, the
great Shaxby.
There we go. There he is.
Yeah.
He's back in business. Yeah, so Max is like, okay, so this is how you work. So he wishes for something material. He wishes for a black Jaguar, which is like a car, right? Not the actual Jaguar. That would have been awful. So KAZAAM tries to fulfill the wish, and it just doesn't work. Like, he casts his spell or whatever and tries to grant the wish, but nothing happens. And it's never explained why it doesn't work here. It's just like he's rusty because he's been in the thing for a while. But there's no reason for this not to work. Like, right?
Yeah, again, you could have like put in a storyline like he has to get his magic back.
Yeah.
But it generally seems like they forgot to finish editing this joke.
Yeah,
they
right.
Like left the scene unfinished, and they were supposed to make him turn into a jaguar cat.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have worked.
Yeah.
Or like
he summons it and runs away from it.
Yeah. That would have been good. That would have worked. But instead he just like shocks himself with his own magic and disappears into a cloud of smoke, leaving Max to get beaten up by the bullies who reappear on the scene. And we cut to Max at his house, and his mum's like, "Oh no, what happened to you?" Max, he's like supposed to be all beaten up and bruised. He looks fine, completely.
Yeah.
Like, nothing, no damage at all has been done to this child. It could be the exact same, like, day. Like, there's nothing that happened to him, and I can't believe that was an oversight. Like...
that they forgot to put the makeup on or something. Probably the same person who didn't animate in the cat.
I guess so. But... yeah, it's ridiculous. And he's like crying about these bruises that don't exist. And Travis, goes in to have a chat with him. And we see in Max's room, he's put like these fake stars in his ceiling, which I think are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Max is he's like a little tinkerer child. That's his deal. He likes taking things apart and making like inventions, which I think is another cool thing that's never properly explored. It's just like in this movie, Ugh.
I feel like all kids in the 90s movies, that is, were tinkerers, like incredible engineering geniuses, and like the sharpest roast comics in the world, like
Right.
so quick-witted. And I'll say it, as someone who had no coordination and was quite shy as a child, you felt useless not being like this.
Yeah, man. We've come a long way. You have, definitely.
Thank you.
I'm still a shy, clumsy idiot. One day.
You just need a bunch of burglars to try to break in, and then you'll reveal you're great at tinkering.
That'll
and
work.
wisecracking.
Yeah, and then I'll go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that'll be an adventure. But yeah, Travis, again, this is where he's being like a really chill guy. He's like being very patient with Max and like really kind with him. Like after getting beaten up, he's like not scolding him or like making him feel terrible for like getting messed up by these bullies. He's being like a really good dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Max like goes to bed and then there's a shooting star in his fake stars for no reason. It's just another thing that's here. And then
he does gently close his eyes to some perfect Great Gig in the Sky slide guitar.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Lock that one in then. Plot it. Yeah, so the next morning, Max's mum isn't there. She's gone to work or whatever. And he goes and investigates this little divorce papers that are sitting on the breakfast table, I suppose.
Yeah.
And sees his dad's name, Nicholas Mateo, on there. And is like going to go check that out. So KAZAAM's outside, like stalking Max, holding his boombox and then like hiding behind lampposts and stuff. Very creepy.
Yes.
In this instance especially, like he appears in front of him and offers Max like an ice cream that's upside down and melting in the palm of his hand. And he's just got this like big grin on his face.
Yeah.
It's really awful. If you saw this happen in a city, like you desperately try and protect this child from this like nightmare person. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. So this guy, Max finds him in an abandoned building.
Yeah.
He's, talking about how I'm going to grant all your wishes.
Yeah.
And then like following him around. And then the movie's like, but he turned out it was great. So this is like deep go talk to strangers propaganda.
Apparently, right? It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that this movie was like a failure because that's such a terrible lesson. It's like, hide in an abandoned building, fall down like 4 flights, and then encounter like a strange man who offers you wishes. Like, and just hang out with him. He's your new best friend. Jesus. Not strong decision making. But yeah, so KAZAAM's like, okay, so the Jaguar didn't work, so like ask for something small and I'll make that happen. And yeah, so here Max like has figured out where his dad is and goes into this like club that's being built, which is where his dad works, Nicholas. This is a very sketchy looking club, and I think it's intentionally so. But, and it's like being hastily constructed here, and like Max just sort of goes and sees his dad, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Max," and his dad's like, "Okay,
yeah,
goodbye, strange child who I don't know." Yeah, it's a very awkward scene.
Yeah.
It's also in this point that people can just see KAZAAM. I thought he was going to be invisible to everyone except Max, but that's not the case. Everyone can see him.
Yeah, which then makes like the fact he's dressed like an old-timey genie and also 7 feet tall and following a child, like a lot stranger.
Real weird. Yeah, everyone's just chill with that, so that's all right. But yeah, so my notes now say that Max goes to an insane junk scrap zone which is
Yep.
like his little like hangout place that I assume that he's built here. He's constructed like a throne made out of an old chair and a bunch of like bike lights, and like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Again, like, yeah, this is wild. And where did he get the real estate? What is he like?
No
He's
idea.
in New York, right?
Yeah, right? I don't know. It's like another abandoned building that this child hangs out in.
Yeah.
But this is his own secret trash palace, you know?
Yeah. Maybe he's like a secret slumlord. Like he just happens to own these buildings.
I guess so. I don't know. But yeah, he's talking with KAZAAM about like how that was my dad, and he's like, he didn't seem like he knew who you were, and he's like, yeah, he doesn't. It's like, okay. Max gets really upset and starts like biking away from KAZAAM, and then KAZAAM summons a little BMX bike of his own. It is a joy watching Shaq try and ride a tiny bicycle.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
They knew what they were doing then.
Yeah, but yeah, his bike turns into like a magic motorbike that flies around.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, all to the solo of Money by Pink Floyd. It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. This is,
Yeah.
yeah, like this is where it's revealed to Max, I guess, that KAZAAM isn't full of shit and he actually is a magic genie. Because he's got this cool bike.
Yeah.
And yeah, KAZAAM's like rhyming the whole time when he's like flying around the room. Yeah. We go into Us and Them, and he makes his first wish, which is a small wish. Presumably, KAZAAM can just grant wishes for himself, and that's how he made that little bike. And he does some
I
other
think
wacky stuff.
That seems to be like that's how the Aladdin genie and stuff work.
Yeah, I suppose so.
From memory.
Similar rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wishes for junk food from here to the sky, is what he says. And it just starts raining burgers and fries from the sky.
Yeah.
And then, like, candy bars start falling down, and then giant stacks of pizza. And it's really gross.
Right?
This isn't a positive thing to be happening. It seems like a horrible, like, curse that KAZAAM has inflicted. And again, if this were like par for the course for KAZAAM, and that like he always grants wishes, but it's always like monkey paw style terrible, you know, like that would have been interesting. But again, not the case. So oh well. Yeah. So but yeah, it's super nightmarish seeing all this junk food just splashing all over the place. It's gross.
Yeah, if you need to go on a diet or something, or you're like, shredding or whatever, watch this scene and you'll never want to eat junk food for
hell again. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, it looks terrible once it's all done. It's supposed to look like this amazing paradise for children, I guess, but it just looks disgusting. So anyway,
imagine how cool it would have been the bonding if it just kept coming and it was going to get to the sky and they had to run out of the building and like bond.
That'd be
like
awful.
A hilarious, like fun malarkey about like avoiding junk food, and it would have been such a great little set piece. But
that'd have been great. It could have led to
this is the first draft of the film we're watching.
Apparently, yeah. They just like wrote one script and they're like, "Yep, that's it. Let's go.
Yeah,
gotta film it. We got 3 days."
From memory, they didn't have long with Shaq. I think they had to get this done pretty quickly.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the first thing that Max says in response to his wish being granted, effectively, he's just like, "So where's the hot chocolate?" What the fuck, Max? That is not junk food. It's not what you wished for, kid. Are you crazy? I was incensed. I was enraged by this response. I was like, what a piece of shit kid. You just got your wish granted. It was a terrible wish, by the way.
Yeah.
And you aren't even happy? Like, you want more? Oh, you're the worst. You deserve nothing, child. I was furious.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he's like, okay, so your wishes work, cool. So he tries to wish for his parents to fall back in love, and KAZAAM's like, nah, man, can't do it. Can't do the ethereal.
Yeah, just to remind you.
Again, great. But yeah, So Max is
I
like,
do want to talk about very quickly.
okay,
After all the food falls down,
uh-huh.
Max says, "So tell me that wasn't a wish." And KAZAAM says in one of his signature rhymes, like
Yeah.
the main man did with the loaves and the fish. Proving that KAZAAM is a steadfast Christian.
The main man.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to the main man. Oh, that's so good.
Which is very interesting because KAZAAM, Shaq,
Yeah.
Shazam, that's where it's all coming from.
That's the issue, man. Yeah.
KAZAAM is like 5,000 years old and was turned into a genie 5,000 years ago, and is like talked about many times that he's come back and gone away again, etc. He must have come back long enough in the last few years to get like heavily converted to Christ.
Maybe. He just might have just known Christ on a personal level, you know? Like, just hung out sometimes. The main man gave him some wishes involving loaves and fish.
Whoa.
You know?
Are you saying this film's a... Whoa, of course! That wasn't a wish, like the main man did with the loaves and the fish.
Yeah.
So, this film is outright saying Jesus performed no miracles. He solely had found the lamp of KAZAAM and used his 3 wishes in a way. So, this movie is saying the modern Christian and Catholic faith is built on KAZAAM's magic.
Yeah, that was my read anyway.
Whoa.
Oh no.
This movie's messed up.
Yeah, man.
This movie deserves all the like rage people have at Little Nas X at the moment. Like,
yeah, for real though.
And it needs that rage now. What, 24 years after it came out?
Please. I can't believe the rage about Little Nas X. We're dating the show severely, but like that's that's malarkey, man.
That is, yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to
that
it.
That song rips, though.
Oh yeah, it definitely rips. It's a banger.
It's so fun to sing.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes, KAZAAM. The next plan is
the music video is real good too. I've just got to say, like,
which one? Fun. Oh, the are we talking about KAZAAM's one or Lil Nas?
No, I'm still talking about Little Nas X.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, I mean, a bit weird to put blood in shoes and resell those, but other than that,
that's pretty weird.
Good time.
Yeah,
check him out.
Check out Lil Nas. Great on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is just us chatting now. What?
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah,
Old Town Road, game changer of a song. I've got to say.
For real, definitely. Going on to his.
Okay, now I'm done.
Stop, Gareth. Yeah. So Max decides that he's going to hold on to KAZAAM and not ask for his last wishes, his 2 remaining wishes, in order to just like have a friend, I guess.
I love this idea. I wish the film had just been that. Like, how good would that be as a like modern like Steve Carell or maybe Jason Segel kind of movie where someone gets a genie and then doesn't do the wishes just to finally have a friend?
It'd be awesome. I love the idea of like actively hostile genie who's like just wants to like do his job and give you your wishes, but you just won't ask for anything. He's trying to like trick you all the time. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just like, hey, so you had a nice day, Mr. Genie? And he's like, please wish.
Please just wish. It's been months.
I've had to get a job.
The lamp is better than this. You know? Oh, man. But yeah.
TM on that.
For real. So, yeah, Max says that he'll make another wish when he builds the guts to talk to his dad. And it's like, and KAZAAM's like, but that could take forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he goes to... making good on his promise, Max and KAZAAM go to the club again to try and talk with the dad. And KAZAAM just gets up and like replaces a DJ and starts bopping. Love this.
Yeah.
There's a bit where like he just hits the stereo and it starts playing music and he just sort of freaks. Just seeing KAZAAM, like seeing Shaq just like look at a stereo and go like, whoa! It's very fun. Yeah, very good. Then this like sleazy mafioso kind of guy appears and just puts a cigarette out on his own hand as like a threat to KAZAAM. It's
Yeah.
wild. And KAZAAM's like, wow, all right, cool. He's a genie, but he's still impressed by that because that's messed
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So Max's dad is introducing someone called Labrat, this like pop star singer type or like rapper, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Max like finally figures out how to introduce himself and decides to say his last name, which is the most relevant information.
Yeah.
And yeah, his dad like twigs to it and he's like, "Oh, you're my son? Cool. Like, let's hang out. Check out all these like club promoter type people, like people that you definitely shouldn't be hanging out with." Because yeah, he's a child. There's even like a bit where he's like, "How old are you?" And Max is like, "I'm 12," and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
even the dad's like, "This is inappropriate." So,
Yeah.
like, hey, you like pizza? Let's go get pizza. It's great. He goes home after this like club situation.
Yeah.
And his mums are all pissed at him because he didn't go to school all day because he was hanging out at the club, as you do. And
so relatable.
Yeah, for real. And Travis is just like being a nice guy. He wants to get Max a tutor because he's struggling at school. Man, just wants to help this boy. And
Travis is the real Jin in Max's life. Like,
For
he's
real,
the one who's
though.
going to solve these deeper issues.
He offers only love and receives only hate. Yeah,
We should track down Travis, the fictional character.
he's the stepdad to the world right now, you know. He's the guiding hand behind everything, you know, keeping us on track if he can. But Max is not thankful. He says, "You're not my dad. My mum lied to me," and all that classic maudlin kid stuff, you know. And yeah, the mum like tries to like apologize, and then she's like, "Yeah, I did lie. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that." And it's like just ends on a sad note. Nothing really comes of that. And yeah, then KAZAAM is up in Max's ceiling when Max is all sad about all this, and he's made of stars. And then he just sort of slides down the wall and into reality again. It's very weird. I don't know what that's for, but it's great. He says that the future doesn't always follow the plan, which I enjoy. I think that's a good line from KAZAAM.
Yeah.
That was just a nice wee note from him. And yeah, they... The next bit is he's like, "I'm going to sneak out now tonight and go to this concert at my dad's club." It's like, it's probably like 10 p.m. or something. And they go to the club and there's a live like rap performance. There is no way a 12-year-old should be allowed here.
No,
It's
not at all.
wildly inappropriate. No one comments on it. Everyone's just dancing, having a good time. And there's like a child and an enormous man hanging out with him. Oh, it's very strange. But yeah, they go into brain damage. We go into brain damage, sorry, as they're taken backstage. And then like KAZAAM like is separated and is called up on stage and does a rap. He just raps for the crowd. And then he shoots sparks out the front of his boombox. And I lost my fucking mind when I saw that. I was like, what? I didn't know that this was going to happen. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought, like, because you mentioned that there was a scene that was so bananas in this movie that, like, you couldn't wait to talk about it. And I was so sure it was this when I saw it. But now I don't know, because there's more insane shit coming up.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
it wasn't even this. Because what was real bonkers for this with me was, like, clearly, okay, there was the stretch where obviously Will Smith was massive, and I feel like a lot of TV executives were like, we've got to find out what people love about Will Smith. So they switched on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They watch the opening credits, and they're like, got it. Now I understand rap music. And they
Yeah.
make movies like this, where it's all that exact kind of like, my story is I learned a thing, and when I learned it, I
Yeah.
became real good. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also, so that was like the scripting and producing of this. The director or cinematographer was terrified of rap music, and everything is shot in a Dutch tilt.
Yeah. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is representative of like rap video direction of the time, maybe. But yeah,
Oh, maybe.
it's just like wobbling backwards and forwards and like a really low frame rate, and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's really very like it's like being on a boat that's being like put through a GBA filter or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just no fun. You're getting sick in the back of your mum's car on this during this rap
Yeah.
performance, you know?
Oh, but there's an amazing shot of someone in the crowd when the original like Debrat concert, before Shaq even gets on stage.
Yeah.
This man is, the camera's on an angle. This man is on even more of an angle. His
Whoa.
eyes are so dead. He is like being transfixed and like taken to another dimension. And it cuts back to the concert. Then it cuts back to this man again and his like soulless dirge that he lives in.
Oh, man.
It's very scary. And I feel like the kind of thing that only highlights itself to the sweet sounds of Pink Floyd.
Yeah. In his mind, he's only hearing the Floyd.
Yeah.
He's hearing the sweet crooning of Brain Damage coming through.
Yeah.
And-
He's scared of these lunatics and how they're on the grass.
Yeah, man, he sure is. What an emotional moment.
Yeah.
As part of this boombox shooting sparks out over the crowd, it shoots out a tiny little gem, and then it lands on. We'll soon meet this man. His name is Malik. On his table, he's hanging out with some lady, and he like tries to grab the gem, but it just disappears. And it's very weird.
Yeah.
I do love that this is here. Also, Malik is played by the guy who was the taxi driver in How I Met Your Mother. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was excited to see that. He's like the second most famous person in this movie.
Yeah. It was like, oh, a character, like an actor I recognize other than Shaq. Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, love this guy. And to see him play this, like, the like main antagonist in the movie, I was like, oh, sweet, nice. I really enjoyed his role, honestly. He's like, he hams it up as like quite a dumb villain, but you know, it's still fun. But yeah, I just love that this was his intro. We've never seen him before this moment, but he's going to turn out to be really important. It's so funny. But yeah, he like tries to grab it and can't get it. And then KAZAAM is like towed away by a babe, like to go and talk to Malik, who is like obsessed with him and wants to sign him as a rapper after this truly engaging performance, you know.
Yeah.
Max's dad, meanwhile, is in the back room. Max goes and finds him, and he's like beating the shit out of this like curly-haired intern man. Like for no reason. He's like, the guys, like, they're under a lot of pressure to do this tape thing that's worth like $1 million, and they're involved in some kind of crime situation here. It's not gotten into. We'll get to what the crime is.
Oh my gosh,
much later into this movie. But
yeah,
like this guy is getting like absolutely wrecked by Nicholas here. It's just completely unjustified. Also, the guy like doesn't leave. Malik like comes back and is like, we're all counting on you, you know, like it's gonna be great. And yeah, this guy's still an employee. Later on, we see him just still part of the situation. He just got like beaten up by his boss, but he's still working for him. It's wild.
I mean, I guess like you'd fire him if you didn't want to keep him. You'd beat him up.
Yeah.
I've got no, I'm not going to end it, but yeah, super weird.
It's very strange. Yeah. Meanwhile, Max like runs away, goes back into the club, and the bullies from his school are here as well. I'm like, what? How did they get in here? Because they're definitely too young as well. Like they're slightly older than Max, but it's still not okay.
No.
But yeah, they're here too, and they're all like pissed off at him. And Max is like, oh, but so I've got a new scheme to get you guys rich. It's fine. There's this $1 million tape that I just heard about, and I can take you to it. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that then. And so they go and like, before this, KAZAAM gets even more separated. Malik like ushers him away to a limo, and they have like, what is it called? They like
Nubian goat size?
Nubian goat's eyes.
Yeah.
Which is like this thing from his genie past that he loves. They're a delicacy. But Malik just starts wolfing them down himself.
Oh my god, he goes ham on them.
He's just eating like 9 or 10 of these bad boys.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
He is hungry for them.
Yeah, hungry for eyes. But yeah, that's how we end playthrough
Hungry
2.
eyes.
Hungry eyes. Yeah, that's how we end the first playthrough, sorry, of the album. And I'm like, man, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go into the next playthrough in the silence, and we've got the kids sneaking in to like steal this tape that's being delivered. Poor curly-haired guy is here. He's delivering the tape. The same guy who got beaten up. Again, notably no bruises on him now.
Yeah, people heal fast in the KAZAAMiverse.
Yeah, they're just it's just like instantly back to full health.
Yeah.
Passive regen in KAZAAM.
Maybe it is purgatory.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, he's the one that, of course, he's the one that's got the tape, the $1 million tape to be delivered, and all these bullies just like mess him up again and steal the tape. They get away. Everyone's like making their escape, and yeah, like the same guy who put the cigarette out on his hand is chasing after Max, and Max has to hide in a little like storm drain to get away, but he manages to escape. It's very him down in the storm drain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very weird sequence. This poor curly-haired guy, shout out to him. He just gets beaten up. Like Travis gets beaten emotionally, but this guy gets beaten physically. It's, it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets home and his mum's like fallen asleep holding a book, like waiting up for him. Again, this isn't really explored. Later on, his mum will just say like, don't do that again. Don't go to the club that your dad owns in the middle of the night. Anyway, what a wild day. So KAZAAM is like returns the following morning. He like puts his enormous hand on Max's face, which is a very unsettling image, and like wakes him up.
Very face off.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it upset me. And then there's a bit of malarkey going on. He like puts on a gorilla mask and pretends to be King Kong, and then he like smells really bad, and so has a shower just standing in the middle of Max's room with like with magic. It's pretty fun. He's got a big like cartoon sponge on a stick to clean himself with, which is pretty good.
And he's like using a reverse cloud to kind of wet himself, which is quite...
That's pretty cool.
Himself. What do you call showering? Just shower.
That's it, yeah. I'm just going to the shower to wet myself. All right?
Oh boy, you need to wet yourself after the gym.
I believe it's called cleaning or getting clean.
Cleaning.
Yes. I'm not sure on pronunciation, but that's got to be it, right? Yeah. That's what my notes here say.
Yes, human notes.
Humaning. Yes.
You drink the water and you wet yourself with it for clean time.
And you wet yourself. You drink the water and you wet yourself. That's what it says here. At the top of the page, all right?
It doesn't say if it's bad or good, but
no.
We'll figure it out.
But I'm going to do it, so...
Yeah.
So Max's mum in the morning like scolds him, but honestly is like relatively chill for her like 12-year-old son being missing all night. She's like, just don't do that again, please. And Max is like, yeah, I'll try. So KAZAAM like pretends to be Max's new tutor. I do like him dressed in his tutor outfit.
Oh yeah, he looks real good. Those glasses.
Yeah,
wow.
This should just be a look. I think he's like
Yeah.
Shaq has figured this out like later on in his like sports casting career, but he can definitely rock this kind of look. It's really cool. But yeah, it's the one-off shot for this, him being the tutor, but it's good times. He does this thing where the mum's making French toast in the morning, delicious, by the way. And Max doesn't want to eat it because he's an asshole kid who doesn't appreciate anything. And KAZAAM makes the like toast into little fighter jets or biplanes or whatever that fly around and shoot into his mouth, and then one shoots into young Max's mouth as well, like tricks him into opening his mouth for it to fly in.
And Max is so impressed, even though he's just seen KAZAAM, turn into stars and reverse a cloud for bathing and all this stuff. He's like, whoa, toast can be a plane?
Yeah. This is like the move you do to get like babies to eat their food when you don't want to do it. And it still works on 12-year-old Max.
Oh,
so
Max.
That says a lot about his like education and mental development.
Well, to be fair, Max has never stepped foot in a class for more than 4 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that tracks. It makes sense.
He's just got to move the supply closet keys around.
I guess so. He's this little like janitor urchin that hangs out at the school but isn't enrolled. Oh no.
That's why he never wants to do like his chores at home, is he's had to clean the whole school.
Is he young Filch? We've cracked it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Except instead of not possessing wizard powers, he possesses no learning powers.
Yeah.
So they let him clean the school.
Man, what I wouldn't give for a like rebranding or rebooting of the Harry Potter franchise for young Filch. And it's just like you see all the other like characters from Harry Potter's like father and mother and young Snape, etc., but it's all from Filch's perspective. Oh my god, amazing.
He's just trying to knock on them all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me young Filch. That's what I want.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, right?
Like, we find out, like, maybe the janitor at the time's really cool to him.
Yeah.
So that's why he wants to do it.
That's why, it's like he's the Hagrid equivalent in that, but for Filch. Oh, man.
Can he be played by the actor who plays young Sheldon?
Yes.
Good.
But
no further questions.
Yeah. I will allow it.
Green light in the room.
There you go. There you go.
Here's $4 billion or whatever the
sweet
money is for the Amazon Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god, yeah. We'll get our government to sign off on that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on. KAZAAM like puts on another outfit change. He's got this like big orange shirt with like a huge collar. The collar on the shirt is like ridiculous. But he's like, this is what he's gonna wear for his performance as a rapper tonight. It's his big break.
Yeah, he looks like he works at the bank and is still a narc.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same outfit, but like what you'd wear on a date if you were the tutor version of Shaq.
Yeah,
it's no good. He says that he was at the destruction of Pompeii. That was like a wish.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
Gosh, KAZAAM's evil.
Yeah, apparently. And he's going to do some more raps. And Max coaches him on some things he could rap about. Max is terrible at rapping as well. So
yeah, I like that even the movie's like, that was terrible.
That was dreadful, mate. Yeah. Let me show you how it's done. And we get like a full-on music video in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, about like being a sultan and hanging out and dressing real cool, they get buried in the sand slowly over the course of this music video,
Yeah.
which I thoroughly enjoyed. It's very weird having this happen for us over time by Pink Floyd. But yeah, I believe the song is called "We Genie." Not entirely sure on that, but it's
Yeah, I think it charted in like a part of Europe as well. Like,
Wow.
they loved it.
Okay. I've only seen the lyrics written down, but I can
Yeah, good
tell
point.
that this is a bad song. But yeah. Anyway, it's a fun video, and it's weird that a music video will play in the middle of a movie, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so KAZAAM explains the like genie lore here. He lays down that genies can get trapped in like any object, not just lamps. That's why he's in a boombox for this movie. And he says he wishes he could do affect destiny, but only jinn can do that, as we've discussed. So he's like wishing he was a jinn, as you do. And we go into great gig, and Max actually decides to go to school.
Yeah.
For once in his whole life, and goes there and is like, oh no, he encounters the bullies again, but the bullies are all chill with them because they have this like $1 million tape ransom. They're like, oh, we're your friends now because you've helped us.
Yeah, you have $1 million cassette tape. So
yeah, there you go. Now we're your friends. Even Max's like legit only friend, who we only ever see in the distance. He's seen in the classroom when just before Max is getting bullied, and he's seen at the top of the stairs here, like 15 feet away or something, just saying like, "You okay, man?" And Max is like, "Yeah, that's it for this guy." He's got a huge baggy shirt on. That's his look, this little kid.
Yeah.
Baggy shirt kid. Shout out to you. You're just like a character who was walking through the halls of this movie. You know? Oh, I love him.
Yeah, they like, either the kid was just too powerful to put in focus on camera, or they suddenly realized he'd never signed a release form and they just had to zoom him out and make him really far away.
Yeah, maybe. It's very unusual.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Max hits the club again after school, and his dad this time is getting beaten to shit by one of Malik's goons.
Yeah.
And, like, over this lost tape that's they're like threatening to like kill him mafia style by like drowning him. Pretty rough. And again, Max is just watching with his mouth open, like doing nothing. Yeah, and meanwhile, KAZAAM is having a chat with Asia, who was the lady from earlier who works for Malik, just talking about his life as a genie, basically. Like not being subtle at all, just saying like, I've been and done so many things. This is great. And she's like, it's sort of like a job interview that is going very awry because one party is a genie, but it's very fun. So Max is like crying out for KAZAAM, and KAZAAM can hear it.
Yes. Yeah.
when Max calls his name, he like shoves his hand or his finger into his ear, and it's like, like every time Max says it. And then I need to break this down like frame by frame almost.
Please,
because it's
the world needs
fucking
this.
insane. So Max like screams so loud that like KAZAAM is taking a drink of water, and out of the water comes Max's screaming face, and then he explodes out of the glass of water onto the table. The real Max does. He just appears.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Sopping wet
I don't
as well,
know what
so
this
the water
means.
was not a metaphor.
Yeah. It's... What? Is this just part of the genie connection? But they can just be summoned to each other at will by crying out for the other one, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what would be great is if the movie addressed this ever again.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That don't happen. That don't happen, though.
No.
But yeah,
Dreaming,
so
mate.
he tries to, like, wish for the tape, and KAZAAM's like, oh, okay, and so they go like back in time or something, or go to where the tape should be,
Yeah.
and it's not there, and KAZAAM's like, oh, I can't find it. I'm sorry, I can't do the wish. And Max is like, shut up, man. We both know that the tape's not here. Do the wish, you genie man. And you aren't my friend, you're a genie, is what he says, basically. And KAZAAM's like, your wish is my command, master. And then like the tape appears out of his boombox. It floats up out of it in magical light. And Max grabs it, and then he's transported back into the middle of class through the magic of the genie. Great.
What do you think came first? The idea that Shaq playing a genie will come out of a boombox, or that this will be mostly about a very expensive cassette tape?
I'm willing to bet it's the boombox that came first.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
anything like the fact that this is about $1 million cassette is wild, even for the time that this came out. Like, it's so good that that's the MacGuffin. That it's this tiny like camcorder tape, which is worth like $1 million.
Yeah,
this film probably isn't worth $1 million. You know?
No.
It's amazing. I love it. So he gets 2 hours in detention for appearing out of nowhere, as you do, dropping into class. And then his dad like pulls up in the car to like take him away and have a chat with him because he knows that he stole the tape. And his mum Max's mum appears out of nowhere and is like, whoa, like, you're not supposed to see Max. Like, this is a wild breach of our like divorce proceedings. You've just appeared on the scene, basically. And she like tries to get him out of the car, but they like squeal off in the car, zoom away, and the mum's like left distraught. It's awful that this happens. I don't know how to explain this, but it's bad. The dad like tries to get the tape out of it, which like says. They have a chat in the heart-to-heart, basically, here, where Max is like, oh, I just wanted to know who you were. I wanted to, like, find out. I think you're the coolest. And his dad's like, you don't want to be like me. I'm a criminal. I do crimes. You don't want to become like me. I don't want that life for you, my son. And he says that you get no second chances in life. And he tells him to leave, which is awful. So Max hands the tape back that he wished for back over to his dad, and he's crying away. He hasn't really learned that like this was not the right wish, I guess. I don't really understand this whole situation. Like, Max caused this problem himself, but anyway.
We met the dad during the first play of Money. Yeah. But we truly met the dad during the second play of Money.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. We now know who he really be. Who he be
and how he do.
Meanwhile, Malik is watching this footage of that he has, because the thing with the tape happened in their offices because they teleported there to look for the tape, as part of the wish, and so. He just sees KAZAAM and Max hanging out, and the tape, like something floating out of the boombox, and the tape is like the security footage that they're watching is like corrupted and terrible because of the magic flying through the air or whatever. So he's like, "What is going on with this magical boombox? I need to know what the secret of KAZAAM is." And that's what like the dad walks into, and now he knows that Max is involved, so now Max is in danger from Malik and his scheming ways. So Max is hanging out at the end of Money on his like little throne that he made in the junk zone, and KAZAAM is meanwhile performing at the club. He's wearing like a sequined cape and matching outfit. This is not what he was going to wear for his performance, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe they just saw what he was going to wear, and they were like, no. Let me get
sequin cape.
Let me get
Trust
this cape
me.
for you.
Yeah.
Trust me, guys. It's going to be way better. But yeah, so the performance is going well, and but Max like decides on his final wish. He runs in and is like, I wish my dad had a second chance at a new life. And Kazam's like, no, like fucking listen to me. That's not something I can do. Like, that's like one of the rules I said yesterday to you.
Yeah.
No? Like, come on, man. So Max is like, fuck you. You don't do anything for me, genie. And like runs away. It's like, come on, Max, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's no logic to that at all. But Malik, meanwhile, goes in for the distraction. He's like, KAZAAM, you're amazing. You're beautiful. He says that, what does he call him? His like golden something. Like Sultan of Gold?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, yes. My Sultan's gold is what he says.
I was too distracted. I was too distracted by the fact there are two actors mopping sweat off Shaq. And
yes.
Earlier in a different scene, a different actor was mopping sweat off Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, some people probably got their Screen Actors Guild, like, card playing, like, sweat mopper too.
Hell yeah. Now that's a credit that I deserve.
I'd retire if I got something like that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Put that on the IMDb page. Absolutely. Oh, I love it. But yeah, so he's getting distracted and one of Malik's goons like sweeps in and steals the boombox in the background. And yeah. So immediately Malik like puts his plan into motion after this. He's going to force Max to make his last wish. And then the genie will be transferred to him because he's out of wishes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess that Malik's is like, he's like cracked the code that KAZAAM is a genie effectively. Earlier I missed this, but he like says under his breath as his like sinister evil man thing to say. He goes like, "My sultan's gold lives in a genie's lamp." It's like, yeah, it's very good. And yeah, so Max is like not going to do that. The dad is like going to be killed unless Max makes his wish. He says, the wish will be, I wish Malik to have all the money in the world. And Max is like, that doesn't work. Economics. If you have all the money, money means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just need a new system.
Yeah. And then Malik's like, well, I'll give some back, I guess. Whatever. Make the wish, little kid. And yeah. Max is like, no, and calls out for KAZAAM to help. And it's the stakes are really high here. Max's dad is gonna die. And he's like calling out and KAZAAM is trying to rap. He's on stage performing, and this kid's in his ear, just screaming his name, ready to jump out of another glass of water. And it's like what happens now, I can't handle, because this came out of nowhere. Max is like getting like backed into a corner, and then the dad is like goes hero mode out of nowhere. He just starts like beating up all the mafia guys, just doing kung fu shit.
Yeah.
It's come out of nowhere. We saw him beating up curly haired man earlier, I guess, but like, man, he's just suddenly like fighting all these guys. And they make like an escape through like a warehouse.
Yeah.
It's insane. Through this warehouse, by the way, we find out what's actually going on here with the dad. The dad is making pirated CDs. That's his crime, Gareth. That's his criminal ways.
Heck yes.
Oh my god. I couldn't believe that reveal. He's like, later at the end of this movie, he gets arrested for this. It's insane. He's got like a pirate CD ring. It's the
Yeah.
best. Oh,
You know, he's going to take your favorite cassette, but he's going to have the additional room a CD provides. He's going to put a couple
yeah.
bonus tracks at the end.
Little do we know, but that little $1 million tape, on that tape is the only copy of Krull waiting to get transferred to the world's first DVD.
Oh.
You know? That's why it's
Yeah.
worth $1 million. It's like the world's most valuable tape.
It's like the sequel to Dark Side of the Moon they recorded, because I think
yes.
Pink Floyd went on another break in 96. So maybe they like fell apart trying to record Light Side of the Sun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, only Max's dad has it.
Yep.
And because of KAZAAM, we missed out.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
Never saw the light of day.
With its songs like Suffocate in the Air,
Oh, God.
Staying Still, Space,
Jeez. This sounds...
Okay Gig Underwater.
This sounds like a Massive Attack album now. You know?
All the money in the world, thus money is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Them versus us.
that one's a gimme.
Yeah. Only one colour and you can't have it.
You can't choose.
Full mental health, and of course, looking at the moon and it's fine.
Looking at the moon and it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
My favourite Pink Floyd song from the 90s.
That is my favorite. I really love that. Oh. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, sorry.
I nearly lost it then.
I just blacked out for a bit.
Yeah, I
What
did.
happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I woke up and I've got a small gem in my hand that's slowly fading.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a standoff between Malik and Max. His dad has just like been knocked out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Malik and Max like have a like face off, and then Max is pushed down an elevator shaft and dies. Like, I didn't see that coming.
No, neither.
That was a hard turn. I was like, whoa, okay. This summons KAZAAM forth. He like leaves the stage. He like bursts into a puff of smoke, and everyone's like, whoa, that was a cool effect in this rap show. And then we see him like flying through this warehouse, like spinning around. And then, like, he's trying to, like, find... He's like, where's Max? And Malik's like, well, I don't know, but you're mine now, genie boy. And he, like, KAZAAM, like, puts his hand through Malik's, like, chest.
Yeah.
He starts, like, fading away or disappearing. Maybe he's, like, getting sucked into the genie lamp or into the boombox here. I don't really know. But he starts, like, turning blue and semi-transparent, and it's very weird. But then he like forces himself back together and starts doing kung fu himself. Starts beating up these goons, unleashing a can of Shaq Fu on these guys. And there's one shot in this sequence which I really enjoy, where one of the goons are getting beaten up, and one goon gets like he does the thing where he forces one goon's punch into another goon, like whips it with the like Aikido, I guess. And that goon like looks at his friend that he's punched, and he looks really distressed. He looks really upset that he's hit his friend. And I just really liked that moment. I was like, oh, yeah. It like holds on his face for a little bit to see. He's like, oh no, Charlie. It's great.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Malik is just sort of standing around holding the boombox in the background in front of this elevator shaft. Then, okay, so all the goons are defeated, and KAZAAM goes over to Malik, grabs him by the neck and hoists him up, asks him where Max is, and he finally tells him he's like at the bottom of the elevator shaft. And what should he do, Gareth? He like collapses Malik into like a Swiss ball. He like turns him, he squashes him into a little ball, a basketball, if you will, which he
Yes.
then dunks. He dunks Malik down a chute in ball form, which is the ultimate insult from Shaq, really. Getting turned into a basketball and getting literally dunked on. Like, that's a way to go out.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
That's like, they must have seen a rush, or was that what they call it? Like an early edit of Space Jam at that time, and seen the scene where, like, Michael Jordan jumps and stretches out his arm like a cartoon character and been like, oh yeah, Shaq plays basketball. We should probably put something like that in our movie.
Yeah, we should maybe reference that. I don't know.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Maybe it's a little bit
Hey,
late
Malik,
in the
you feel
editing
like getting
process,
squished?
but
Yeah.
yeah, you like getting squished, mate?
All they did was take footage of, like, an actual Shaq basketball game, edited the background to be that, and then changed the basketball into Malik, and then, like, just chucked it in their movie, like, the day before it was going to print or something.
That makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's the only thing about this whole film that makes sense.
Yeah. As part of this big fight, also, I don't know how this has happened, but the building's on fire now.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I guess, like, people were being thrown into, like, electric fences and things. I don't know. But there's a fire that's broken out. And also, there's a rap concert downstairs. So, stakes are high.
Yeah.
So the firefighters and the police officers arrive in their fire trucks and police cars specifically.
Yeah.
And this is like my baseball explanation all of a sudden. And they, over brain damage, they go and, like, surrounding the building. And KAZAAM appears at the bottom of the elevator shaft and picks up, like, Max in his arms. He, like, brushes the hair out of his face and screams out, no, like Darth Vader style.
Yeah.
Screams out a no. Like, he says that Max was the only friend he had in 5,000 years. And he wishes he could have granted Max's wish and filled his heart with love.
Yeah. Interestingly, that proves that he wasn't even friends with Jesus when he did all his...
There you go. He just did stuff for him.
Yeah.
You know, just hung out with him. He also says... KAZAAM also says that Max, he says, you are the Sultan's goal. Which I love. I just want...
This movie thinks people say Sultan's gold a lot more than they do.
Yeah, they wanted it to become a thing, I think.
Mm.
And then so he starts glowing with a light, and then Max is brought back to life, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm alive." And then KAZAAM just starts growing really big. He was big before, but now he's like 15 feet tall, and then even taller.
Yes.
And then he says, I'm free. And he explodes into this massive sun. Like,
oh my gosh.
He's the Teletubby sun, but Shaq's
face.
And this is his, like, djinn form. He's ascended to become a djinn.
Yeah.
And
this is all happening to Eclipse by Pink Floyd. Like, I swear we joked many times about, like... Well, I know in my life I often say, like, oh yeah, that song was pretty good. I just ascended and turned into golden light listening to it. Like, if something's really good, like, oh, this dinner, I'm ascending and turning into golden light. The fact that a man ascends and turns into golden light to the moment where the album ascends and turns itself into golden light.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Now that's a tasty sync.
That is delicious.
Love it. Yeah, it's great. He says, in our hearts we are all jinn.
Which again doesn't mean anything.
No, he says that over the album saying, I can't think of anything to say. Which is fully accurate. And then Max, like, floats up into the sunlight. Yes! He's, like, engulfed by flames as the album ends. And I wish that was the end of this movie, because holy shit, it's insane.
Again, I just, like, imagine, like, it feels like something you'd see. I don't go on Reddit, but I imagine the homepage of Reddit is just people photoshopping Shaq's face onto the sun. And this movie's giving this away for free?
Yeah, right.
Like, What a gift.
Oh my
And
god.
to have that how you wrap up your sweet Pink Floyd experience.
It was
It's
great.
beautiful.
Sadly,
Yeah.
though, we've got a tiny fragment of the album in the movie left. We've got one more start of a play, and then the like epilogue part of the movie, I guess here.
Yeah.
Because that was the fireworks really at the end of KAZAAM.
Oh yeah.
We've got so Travis rushes in and rescues Max from this burning building, full proper hero mode, as a firefighter. What a good guy. He gives his mum a big old hug, Max does, and as part of the wish that was made manifest by KAZAAM, the dad is now alive and it has a second chance at a new life. As part of this, he's arrested by the cops. And he's like, there's a bit where he's like, oh, well, when I get out, like, do you want to go fishing? And Max is like, that sounds good. It's wild. He gets arrested for his piracy crimes. So it should be.
Yeah.
You dirty boy. It's amazing. And yeah, so the like third play of the album starts, and like Travis has been accepted into the family by Max. He's finally been accepted as like a good stepdad, which he always was. Max fucking says, he's like, oh man, the only thing I could need right now is a bit of hot chocolate. And then there's like street hot chocolate on the ground. This is like another part of this final wish. The final thank you from KAZAAM is this hot chocolate that he didn't
finally
deserve.
The hot chocolate he whined about.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Also, I'm going to say it. If you're going to show me hot chocolate, you show me it in a mug, you show steam coming off it. This is in a glass and it has whipped cream on top. The whipped cream would have melted by now, surely.
This is like a chocolate sundae that's sitting out here, definitely. It's not a hot chocolate. It's not what this is.
Yeah, at the most, that's a warm chocolate.
Yeah. It's rapidly becoming a cold chocolate the longer we talk about it. So we also see in the distance a KAZAAM like hanging out with Asia, and like he's wearing like a white singlet. He looks like a young like Neo or something. Here, like ready for his new rap career. It's great. And yeah, that's it. We get into the credits as we get into Breathe before even the lyrics of Breathe start. The movie ends.
Yeah.
So it's like this tiny little extra bit that we could have done without, you know?
Yeah.
But regardless, what did you think? How did it sink, Gareth?
Well, I mean, to have something like a scene where someone ascends into light, and that light is a big old Shaq's face.
Yeah.
And that big old Shaq's face is like bringing two people back to life. Like while essentially the sun is eclipsed by the moon, as sings Pink Floyd. And the sun is all these bad lack of syncs throughout the whole film. And then the moon eclipsing it is Shaq's glowing face. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I can't put it into numbers. I've given you the raw. I'm like coming to you as my accountant. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's all my receipts. You got to do something with this, man.
Yeah, I've got to check the receipts. I want to give it like, oh, it's tough. It really is tough. There's definitely some good stuff in here. Some solid stuff. Some solid sinking.
I reckon
it started really strong, and we have we have the engulfing by light. We're definitely over the midway. We're like, we've got to be like 5.5 maybe.
Yeah, 5.5 is good.
Okay. Let's chuck it there. Let's put it there. Slot it in. All right. Sweet.
Sweet. Oh, man.
Yeah?
If you had a genie, what would you wish for this movie?
I don't know. But that does really tie in nicely to what I'm going to do for the intro to the next film that we're going to cover, Gareth, because it's my choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? You asked me what I...
Yeah,
what I
you
want.
didn't choose this movie, trust me.
No. Oh, good. Oh, thank goodness. But yeah, if I had one wish, man, you know what I'd say to that? 2 chicks at the same time.
Fuck. All right, let's do that.
That is
I know what movie that is.
There's a reference to the movie Office Space that we'll be watching next week. It's not actually what I would wish for, but it was too good an opportunity not to use.
That is so... I just want to answer that anytime someone asks like a big, deep question. Just like, 2 chicks at the same time, man.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, Office Space is a better movie than that quote, but hey.
Yeah, that quote does it a disservice.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, man. Gosh, well, until we take a trip to the Office Space,
yes,
we'll leave you to enjoy the rest of cyberspace because this podcast is on the internet.
Yeah.
On Twitter, it's Sync Floyd Pod. Letterboxd, Sync Floyd. syncfloyd@gmail.com.
Yep.
Goodness me, if you thought genies coming out of lamps was cool, what about a love lamp? Come see Love Lamp at the New Zealand Comedy Festival.
Yeah, man.
I think it's comedyfestival.co.nz to watch that. And until then, I've been Gareth Blackler.
I've been James Barron.
And Kino Labor will see you on the dark side of the moon.
Looking at the moon and it's fine. Goodbye.